Updated step-by-step MON guide. Let's get started. And super quick before everything, if someone, for whatever reason, has a large amount of money on Treasure Chain, make sure to withdraw everything before May 30th, as they're winding down and your assets will be stuck there probably forever. Alright, Monad. So why are we doing Monad exactly? It's a testnet. Well, they've raised 244 million in funding, and they've been very generous with airdrops in the past to their Nedd's community. For example, people who had Nedd role in Discord have received about $12,000 worth of Wormhole tokens back when Wormhole first launched last year. Also, another thing, their Discord is probably one of the things that you should not fade. At this point, it's probably very hard to get any sensible roles, but if you're doing testnets and you're doing Monad, you owe it to yourself to at least try to get some of these roles, like all access or even Neds or higher, because at the end of the day, it's probably going to be the most worthwhile investment of your time. Also, some of the conversations in these channels are pretty good. You can get some good alpha, but as any free community, it is always needing to be taken with a grain of salt. So there are a couple ways to get your Monad on Monad testnet, and the easiest way that we've covered many times in the past is to just simply buy some Sepolia ETH, and you bridge this Sepolia ETH to the Monad testnet. So you will need to go to testnetbridge.com/Sepolia, connect your wallet, and buy ETH on either Optimism, Arbitrum. Yeah, those are the only two options. You don't want to buy anything on Ethereum mainnet, and then you simply bridge that over to the ETH Sepolia. You can buy about 20 ETH worth of ETH Sepolia for about $2 or $3, so it's a very good deal. Now, you can also go to Orbiter Finance after that, go to testnet.orbiterfinance and bridge from Sepolia to Monad testnet. Very straightforward process, and after that, you have to stomach a huge slippage fee here in the ambient finance, for example. You're going to be paying about 95 to 99% in slippage, but you simply need to sell your transferred ETH from Sepolia over into the Monad token itself. And you simply do that on the swap tab, not on the pool tab, obviously. Alright, another way to get the Monad testnet tokens is also through this Morkie faucet. You can get 0.5 tokens every day. However, you will need to buy their Morkie ID, and this is going to cost you either 0.01 ETH or 10 Polygon tokens. So it's about $2.50. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, well, that's not great news. So they've updated this faucet to give you a tier-based amount of Monad tokens. At the moment, you can only get 0.1 Monad every 24 hours if you have only 1 or 2 Morkie IDs. So if you want to get more Monad tokens, you would have to invest a little more of the real money in their Morkie NFTs. It might be worthwhile in the long run if they ever transition into mainnet, into something sensible, but at the moment, it is very, very speculative. Either way, we can do some little more transactions and interactions with this particular application, and they also have an NFT mint on the Monad testnet called Morkie.xyz, and it costs 0.045 MON. If you have collected enough Monad tokens, maybe through simply bridging or getting them from the official Monad faucet, you will be able to also mint this, but you do need to follow all of these social tasks, such as following Morkie on X, minting the Morkie ID, and liking and retweeting a couple of their posts. Finally, if you really want to cover all your bases for Morkie, you can also buy their token. This is, of course, the riskiest one because it is on mainnet. However, it is a 2-in-1 with Matcha. If you want to speculate with Matcha airdrop, so here you'll be able to buy some of the Morkie token on Polygon network. And you can also stake it on their platform. Now, finally, you can also simply get some Monad faucet tokens, but these are the most used ones, and they also have a specific criteria by having at least about $100 on ETH mainnet and having at least 3 Ethereum mainnet transactions as well. Alright, now we have some tokens on Monad testnet. Let's use them in some looping strategies on Magma staking.
Hey guys, we partner with What Exchange, one of the greatest decentralized exchange right now in the market. I love that you can see everything on your screen at once. You can connect to What Exchange from different mainnets, and you can see here the list of hundreds of tokens. They are continuously adding more tokens each week. And What Exchange has an active airdrop. They are going to distribute 30% of the total supply, guys, into this airdrop. So that is why I am super bullish trading here too. You can see here the point section that they added recently, so you can check everything about your progress on this airdrop. And in trading, you can see how many order tokens you earn because they have this payback system from the fees that you pay. part of that goes back to you on other tokens. So check the link on the description to join to What Exchange, trade on the platform, participate on the airdrop of the 30% of the supply, and also get some order tokens back. All the links are in the description.
Shout out to Toby for making this thread. So first of all, go to their official website and stake some of the MON tokens in their Gmon pools. And if for whatever reason you want to unstake, you can do so without any waiting period or withdrawal delay by simply going in this tab Unstake. Now we have our tokens. We're going to use them in the Nostra Finance. Forget about any starknet PTSDs. This is just MON testnet. So we're going to get here in the deposit tab by following the link from the official Toby post. And here we can definitely make sure to have this use for lending opened and use as collateral. Also, it is great to use these things on testnet because if you've never done looping strategies, you will be very happy to test these things out in the testnet environment because sometimes some liquidation weeks can happen. And if your LTV, so loan to value ratio, is too low, you can get super liquidated, and it sucks because by the time your token recovers, you will only open the application to see your collateral being actually sold. And now we can go back into the Lend and Borrow tab, and here find the wrapped monad. Go here in the Borrow tab, and is testnet, so you can even go for the max. But just for a good case practice, let's put a sensible health factor, such as, for example, 1.41. It is still yellow, but even if some crazy weeks happen in the wrapped monad or Gmon prices, it should be fine. Here, after borrowing, we will then sell this wrapped monad on Uniswap, and then simply repeat the process with Magma Finance or Magma staking. One very important thing to mention that is not mentioned in the post is that if you have never interacted with testnets on the Uniswap app in the past, you will actually need to go here in the top right, go to the settings tab, and obviously change the dark mode first, and then go in testnet mode to actually have all of these dApps like Monad and all the other testnets actually visible at all. As always, one of the simplest ways to stay ahead of the curve is to be in private communities which discuss all of these topics in much detail and in real time. We have one such in our Discord where we have a Monad channel where we talk about all the latest strategies, NFT mints, and ways to stack up Monad in ton before testnet. One such strategy is to simply get on these Monad NFTs that have 10 chapters now, and they seem to be simply always appreciating in value. If you want to be part of this, make sure to join the subscriptions tab from the official website. As always, all the links of everything in the videos are always in the first link of the description of every video. And also, you can join the program, which is yielding you 10% a month in token yield, hoping to be 10% in stablecoin yield as well as soon as possible. And speaking of really good Monad guides, Blicky is currently making one on the latest interactions you can do on Monad testnet, and this is going to be a work in progress, but for now we can take a look at a couple of the applications he recommends. First one is Fantasy Top. This is actually an application on mainnet where you can bet on the popularity of certain X accounts, collect cards, even later resell them at a higher value, ideally. But here we're going to be doing that on the Monad testnet. You have to register with either your Discord or your X accounts and pass the anti-Sybil test. After that, you get 100 MON tokens, ideally. Sometimes you need to do hard refresh or something similar. And basically, you choose 5 of the cards you want to bet are going to increase in popularity on X, in mindshare, and everything else. As always, Ansem is in the top 5. But in short, just bet with these cards and maybe get some whitelist rewards for Monad testnet, maybe even some tokens and everything in between. And the last interaction is super time sensitive. By the time you're watching this video, you might still have a couple hours to get this MON AI mint, NFT mint. You simply have to follow their X, like and retweet, and join their Discord, and you will be able to spend 3.49 MON tokens for this NFT for week 10. At the moment, they're almost minted out, well, 2/3 minted out, so it might even be worthwhile reselling at a later date. And if you're going to be doing this, make sure to resell it on Magic Eden because they support the Monad testnet for a couple months already. And if you want to find some other applications you can use, make sure to follow them on socials because they usually have a list of applications that they support and openly promote either on their X account or in their Discord. And that is a wrap for all the Monad topics for today. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. Any questions, comments, waiting for you in the comment section below and in our Discord. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time, have an amazing day.